So I just talked to Michelle, and he was talking about like the late '90s. He was attached to like a version of this film as well. So can you talk about like kind of coming on board with him and like crafting your guys' version for this film?
Yeah, I mean, he was attached. When would it be? 1994 or something like that. 12, 13 years ago. And when we linked up with him, we had our version. He had his version, which we didn't really want to get too into, but he brought ideas over from it, and we really brought everything together. And in general, this whole Green Hornet's the biggest collaboration I've ever done.
So like, yeah, 'cause he was saying like it was a more kind of abstract, not abstract, I'd say, but like it's like more believability, I guess, that he was the version he was.
One could say that his version was more completely insane, crazy Michel Gondry style, and ours was more comprehensible to the normal human being style. His was like an unfettered piece of his brain written into a 120-page script. I mean, I don't want to say any of the things I read in it because maybe he's going to do it in some other movies, but some far-out stuff happened in his version.
So, like, can you talk about like just his style of direction, like what makes everyone when he was announced, it's like you wouldn't think of Michel Gondry. I mean, even though he was attached like a long time ago, but you wouldn't think you'd see Eternal Sunshine, The Spotless Mind, and then Green Hornet. It's like, can you talk about like what that kind of style brought to his direction in this film?
Well, I mean, we wanted a guy who could do things practically. We didn't want a movie full of computer-generated effects. And obviously, in a giant superhero movie with explosions and guns, there are a bunch of computer-generated effects, but we wanted someone who could actually make things really happen in the physical reality of the film. And, like, we can do what we can do, Seth and I, and Neil Moritz can do what he can do. We wanted someone who could do something none of us could do. So we got this guy.
Makes sense. So what's like being back at Comic-Con for 2 years in a row? Not many films actually do that. It's usually like the one year now. So, I guess they're veterans almost.
I wish we had to come back to Comic-Con every month. It's just like going to the comic shop, but in a giant auditorium full of nerds, and some of them are kind of hot now.
I did notice that today, actually.
Yeah. It's getting that Halloweenish vibe where, like, the girls are like, oh, no, I should dress sluttier with my superhero-esque costume.